Hello and welcome to episode, look at that, a big round number, 4 and 0, that equals...
Hang on a minute, this is my chance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, this is your moment. 4 and then a 0.
And a coffee, so that's coffee. No, 40.
40, episode 40.
I thought when you said a big round, I thought you were talking about me.
No, I wouldn't dare. Look at that, episode 40. Do you know what, it's 40 isn't really, people don't really, other than birthdays, don't really rate it as a significant number, but I'm looking at it there on our screen and going, do you know what?
That's
pretty cool.
That's impressive, my friend.
40. And we still have 2 people listening to us. That is not true.
No, it was 3, but Michelle decided no.
We've just been talking before we hit record about episode 39 with LXXI.
Who's she again?
Jess Mann, who works for HubSpoke.
Yes.
And what an episode that was. So if you haven't had a listen
to the song this morning, oh my Lord.
Yeah, did you?
It's so cool.
It is, isn't it?
I love the fact that I actually know, when I was listening to the song, I knew the exact beat when I was listening, when you were going...
on my video. Viral on TikTok. Sorry, I haven't introduced ourselves. Sorry, Adam from HubSpoke Media and...
Andrew from Resilient Business System.
Oh, yeah, sounds very authoritative.
No, I don't.
Do you know what? I said the word authoritative on a video about this podcast studio the other day. And it kind of, when I was talking, Lena was filming me, when I was talking, it just rolled off the tongue. And I was like, I didn't trip over authoritative.
Authoritative.
It's not the easiest word to say. And I'm like, all the words I could have picked, why did I pick that one?
I find it incredulous that you did pick that one.
There we go. How many coffees have you had this morning? Because you had a lot the other day. One.
This is my first coffee.
Is it? This is my first coffee in my travel mug.
Yes,
from
nice
home.
travel mug. Is it still volcanic?
It is. It keeps it blooming warm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I actually make it and then let it cool down a bit.
Yeah,
I'm more of a...
Anyway, back on track, sir. Back on track.
Yes. I started work at 5 a.m. this morning, by the way.
You were the same time. You didn't beat me. I was 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. I just woke up and I was like, stuff to do. Let's go. And it's Friday.
It's Friday.
So, last episode, if you haven't had a listen of LXXI or Jess, who works at HubSpoke, she also produces music, and she's just released her latest song with Marcus Senior, and it's called
Wasted Time.
Yeah, Wasted Time. And her episode was absolutely fantastic. So please, if you're mildly interested in learning about something just a little bit different, because we learned loads.
We did. It's fabulous.
And I continue to learn loads.
Every day is a learning day. Every day is a school day, Adam.
It is. And it's a must listen to episode.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Mate, you have been busy. Again, look, I'm going to do this if you're listening. There's evidence of two pieces of paper that Mr. Reed has supplied me with.
Exactly. I picked up on what you said last week, my friend, where we said we should cover cybersecurity. And guess what?
You've covered it in
cybersecurity.
I totally agree. And there's been a couple of things. So I'm going to give you a couple of preambles to why I said that. I've got one friend who I've done a bit of work with as well.
Okay.
You know, absolutely. It's in the DJing world.
Yes.
But I'd consider him a friend. And he had issues with accounts being hacked.
Yeah.
And he was suddenly trying to sell me Bitcoin.
When he normally doesn't sell you Bitcoin.
He doesn't normally sell me Bitcoin.
So instantly, did you think, that's a bit odd?
I thought, A, that's a bit odd. B, I didn't realise you were into Bitcoin. Yeah. And then C, I was like, okay, this is quite a clever scam. Okay, so what they'd done, yes, it was posting on his thing, but what they'd done is they had taken his profile picture.
Right.
They had a picture of, obviously, taken his profile picture and then started putting it in places. They had a picture of a smartphone on a post. So it was like a post that people had, picture of the smartphone, and it was like, do you know how I've got some notifications there?
Yes.
So it's like the notifications have popped up. Now, you can see a picture of my family there, can't you?
Lovely. Hello,
the thing that let the scam down was the picture, was his Facebook profile picture. And I was like, are you telling me he walks around with a picture of his own face on his phone? Normally it's a selfie with somebody or this, that, and the other, and it just so happens to perfectly match the Facebook profile. So what they'd done is took his profile picture, put it onto a mobile phone screen, and then obviously layered the notifications. So they've probably got some kind of AI that'll do that for them.
Oh, God, very easily.
And I thought but it made it go. It made it flick it going. Yep. Well, there's the screenshot of his phone, and yeah, there it is. I was like, this still doesn't make sense. My brain's going, this does not compute. I was not falling for it because I'm always dubious, but I was like, that is a level of advancement, I think, in techniques in terms of catching people. Yeah, very sneaky.
Very sneaky. The sad thing is they are getting cleverer and cleverer and cleverer.
Yep. So that was that one.
Yeah.
And then there was another one last year of another friend I know.
Hang on a minute. You've not got two friends.
That's it.
Okay, right. Fine. Well, that's okay.
I'll let that go. Oh, no, and you, maybe.
Yes,
please.
Oh, you are my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
That's three. You can have three.
Three friends. So basically, this one was like a professional account that he was using, and it wasn't that he'd been hacked or anything. He had all the right methods in place, but he was being spoofed. Spoofed. So people had gone in, copied profile pictures. People had gone in, copied posts, basically mirrored the thing and made the handle look so similar.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like at a glance, you'd be like, it's the same. That's him doing his thing. And all they were doing is lifting the content from what's going out. Again, you could probably automate that.
You can.
And
copy posts.
Yeah, and then publishing it across there to make it look like they were also him.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, he started trying to sell me Bitcoin. It's always Bitcoin at the moment. And we are gonna have Rob on. He's on holiday. But he knows a thing or two about Bitcoin. We'll go into that. So don't just assume if it's got Bitcoin in it, it's evil, because it's not quite the case.
No.
It's just people are using it for nefarious activities, as people do with the internet, as people
absolutely.
do with vehicles.
With everything.
Yeah, with everything.
With everything.
So don't, I suppose, word of warning, don't just put Bitcoin in that
it isn't.
Scam
You
thing.
can put anything in that, unfortunately, because of a certain trait or a certain criminal activity. But actually, Bitcoin is very, very useful in certain circumstances.
And it is not these scams are not representative of what it's all about, and we'll come on to that. But so he started, and again, the way they worded it was good. Like, a very casual tone of voice and this, that, and the other. Not like, you want to make millions and millions of pounds. It was like more, I'd air quotes, sensible, amounts. Which are still not that sensible, but more sensible.
Yeah.
So that was another one that I saw last year as well.
As I say, unfortunately, it is becoming in my industry more and more prevalent. And as you've just mentioned there, they are getting more sophisticated as everything evolves. The scams in the early days, forgive me, Nigerian prince, I'd like to invest some money. Everybody's
I've had those emails.
Yeah, but everybody's aware of them now.
Yep.
So the hackers are now changing tact. They're getting more sophisticated. And actually, through the notes that I've done today, obviously, up very early this morning, but reading. But it's very interesting what you've just said there, Adam. In terms of last year, cyber attacking through social media is now the biggest form of attack.
Wow.
Because it's easier to do it. Mm-hmm. We advertise our lives on social media. We advertise our lives on Facebook and TikTok. Therefore, it's very easy to grab screenshots, create a profile, and then put certain photographs and certain posts, and you can instantly go, oh, there's Adam Walker. I know Adam Walker, And then I think obviously the same rules apply. We're obviously friends on Facebook. If I got a friend from Adam, I'm like, I'm already his friend.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fake. Yeah, or if I see a post that is completely out of the norm, again, my instant reaction is going, nope. Yeah, and again, I've had it where I've spoken to my friends and customers, and I'm like, okay, do the obvious thing. Yeah, look at the friend request that you've got against the friend that you've got. How many friends does he have? What was his last post? Well, it's the same.
I have 3.
Down. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And the problem that I'm getting is that, and we'll come on to this, and funnily enough, the last page to me is the one where I was like literally banging the table going, yes, that's what we need to do. It's all about people. So I've mentioned this before, Adam, and hopefully if you ever do listen to me, which we never do,
I listen to you all the time,
I
young
know
man.
you do, my friend. I know you do. Who or what is the biggest risk in any company?
People.
Absolutely.
And that's
100%.
not being rude to the people.
No.
It's the humans in the chain that are the weakest
No,
link.
100%, mate.
And I mean that respectfully.
No, yeah, 100%. And I say that the same thing to my customers. Yeah, I always remember the original conversation when I proposed to install some particularly good antivirus software that we utilize and some malware software we utilize. My friend, the colleague, owner of the... So I'll never get hacked then. I went, oh, God, no. I said, I can have the best antivirus, malware, firewall, blah, 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 in the world. One of your employees clicks a link and bypasses it, I'm done for. Because there's absolutely no guarantee. You know, if that code is not malicious, therefore the antivirus will never, ever pick it up.
Yeah, you just triggered something.
Oh, good. Well, I'll come on to one more thing and then I'll let you go.
Do that.
And then the other example is that I got an email from one of my customers going, I've just received this email. Yeah. Why hasn't my antivirus or why hasn't the spam filter on my Microsoft Exchange picked it up? Now, I looked at the email, Adam, and I went, what's spam about it? And he went, well, it's obvious it's spam. I'm like, no, I'm really, really sorry. It's obvious to you. Think as a computer. It's come in. Does the email address look valid? Well, yeah, it does. Okay. Is the subject valid? Well, it's valid, but it's wrong, as in it's asking me to do something. And I'm like, yeah, but you've caught that. How does a computer know that is? And basically, we went through the whole of the email for about half an hour. And in the end, he went, actually, Andy, that's a very good point. I just, I can see it. He says, but your computer, how on earth would it have a chance of recognizing that this is a spam or a spoof? I'm like, absolutely. I said, that's why we train your users. That's why I'm constantly nagging you, God bless you, where I go, stop, think. If for 1 second you're going, oh, I said, that's it. That 1 second allows you to think. So sorry, what was the thoughts?
So there's a couple of things. One, you write all over my emails and the team's emails. So Andy...
Adam looks like the chipmunk monster.
Do you know, Jess I had a picture in this jacket yesterday.
Yeah.
With my glasses on. And she did another side-by-side comparison. She's like, you really do look like him.
Did you get my comment about you posted a lovely photograph of two musicians saying, guess the song?
Yes.
Yes, did you get my comment?
I saw the post, I haven't seen your comment.
Yeah, my comment was, because you asked, can you guess the song they were playing? And I went, was it the theme tune to Alvin and the Chipmunks?
I'm kind of glad I didn't see that, to be honest.
I was chuckling away to myself.
Yeah, famous old TikTok, we love it.
Exactly. So sorry, yeah.
No, you're good. So basically, we work with Andy, who supports our IT delivery, and he's put some things, checks and balances in place to try and make sure that we're getting decent stuff. But even then, all our emails have, just be careful. Yeah. This could contain sensitive information, this, that, and the other. And if you're unsure, give you a shout, isn't it?
Absolutely. So basically what I do is that there are mail rules within Microsoft Exchange. And what I can do is, using some clever scripting and some clever identification, I can basically say, if an email has come from the sender, Adam Walker, to the rest of the team, my software or the rule that I've set up can actually go, whoa, hang on a minute. That's Adam Walker, but he's got a different email address than the Adam Walker that I know. So I literally put a red warning, don't I? Yep. And it goes, warning, this user is pretending or potentially spoofing because it's got the same name with a different email address. And yet all of those things, every time I recognize a hyperlink within an email, so a hyperlink is when you can actually click on something and it will open up the web browser automatically. Again, I can't tell you whether it's malicious. I cannot tell you whether it's suspicious.
No, but you can
All I can do is go and be careful.
Yeah.
There are links within this email. Please be vigilant when you're clicking. And again, that's my way of trying to help you and your lovely people to go, just please be careful when you see these emails.
Yeah, 100%. And I totally agree. We're going to go into this in a second, but there's one last thing I want to ask you.
And this on the spot.
Well, there's been... Do you know what? It was... The first one was a few months ago. There's no issues. First one was a few months ago, and it was like buying a ticket for an event, and they were using Go Cardless, which you can use as direct debit software and this, that, and the other. Anyway, what it wanted you to do was you go to the website, you add it to your basket, and when you go to checkout, it then took you to log into your banking. Yeah. Okay. I was then in a garage last week. Same thing. Pay your deposit, click on the link, log into your bank details. Right. So it was like, on your through your email, here's a link to arrange payment. Click that, and then they go, right, to pay, click here. And I went, I'm sorry, right? So this has happened. So this is twice I've seen this.
Yeah.
Both times I've not done it. I will not log into my banking having gone from somebody else. Like, if I want to log into my banking, I'm going to go and find my banking completely independently of anyone else, right? So I'm sat there going, this doesn't feel right. Now, unfortunately, I just see it and I just think this is open, surely, to abuse. Oh. You can see this already,
absolutely.
Yeah? Right? Because I don't know for certain, especially if I'm on a mobile to pay. I'm like, and I'm stood there going, are you seriously telling me your best practice now to take this payment from a client is to get them to click a link on their email, go to your website thing, and then click another link to go to their banking, to put in their banking security details on the banking page. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that was the banking page. But I'm like, this is terrible, 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 terrible practice.
Yes.
This is me ranting now. Yes. I'm like, this is a rubbish idea.
Whoever thought that was an idiot, I'm really sorry.
Right, so one was Go Cardless, and I like Go Cardless. I've used Go Cardless. I've seen Go Cardless. I've got people that use it. And then I saw this, and I was like, what on earth is that? Because then I could go, right, HubSpot's going to take payment. Come and log into your banking. You click which bank account you have, and it takes you through to the login screen. And I'm like, anything that is like ferrying you, it's like them being stood in your pocket as you're at the cash machine is the kind of equivalent I was thinking. And looking at your PIN number is what I was thinking. So I didn't think you'd be aware of that because I've only come about it twice.
That is very, very, very bad.
So you get a web link, click on it, go to the page. These are genuine, but these two are genuine. But I still didn't do it. No. Right? These are the genuine systems that have been put forward to do. Then go, which bank do you use? That bank, and then it takes you to your login page. And I am like, 100% absolutely not. Because that link, when I click on that, it could take me to any page, technically. If I don't inspect the link and check that it is the actual bank, they could just create a spoof page, or the bad guys could create a spoof page that looks exactly like the bank and then just go, thank you for your security details. We'll now go and log into your bank.
If you had that on your HubSpot Media website, there are a few people that are legitimate hackers. So, they do this for a living to try and help and protect and block these security holes. I know somebody that if you had that on your website page, probably within about half a day, he could hack it and then redirect it to a spoof bank page, and bingo, got your credit card details.
I think it's an absolute joke, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm like, how is this the approach? So if you're listening to this and you get a payment method, which is, we'll send you an email, you click on the link, then pick your bank and go and log into your banking. No. Say no. Do not do that. This is my opinion. I'm sure you'd back me up on that.
100%, mate. 100%.
Do not do that.
No.
Ever. Because if you do it once and it is genuine, you never know. You might get tripped up when it isn't genuine.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that it isn't genuine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what a bad example of how not to take a payment, okay? Yeah. So please understand, don't do that. Go. And I felt stupid going, I don't feel comfortable logging into my banking like this.
I'll just go to my banking app and pay you normally.
And I said, frankly, this is an absolute joke that you're requiring me to log into my banking to pay you. Yeah. If you want me to pay you via bank transfer, I will log into my bank account separately and pay you via bank transfer. Yeah. If you want me to pay by card, I will pay by card. Correct. I don't mind paying you, but I am not doing that. No. So please, call to action, no. Do not do that.
I think, to be fair, Adam, don't do it for anything. And we've spoken about this before, and I think in the very first episode when we kicked this off, God bless, had a friend that said, oh, your TalkTalk password has expired. Please click here to confirm and for confirmation. I would basically say, if you had any text, any email, any Facebook message, any social media message that has a hyperlink that says, please click here to confirm something, 100%, no, I'm not doing that. I will go outside of that link and I will log into my banking app, to my social media page, whatever, and go, fine.
Yeah, verify it independently.
Verify independently.
The only time it changes is when you need to verify an email address when you're setting up an account.
I get that.
But you should have gone, well, that makes sense because I am setting up an account. So you've got to trust somewhere these processes.
Yes.
However, you're absolutely right. If there's an issue with something, I never go through the links.
No.
And I mean this respectfully. Even my accountants, who are fantastic,
Yes.
they go, right, tax bill is going to be this month, for the pay-as-you-earn tax.
Absolutely.
Go and pay it here, and here's a link. I don't even click that link. And I absolutely trust them, but I never know. You never know. Could there be something clever going on, spoofing this, that, and the other? No. I am going direct independently to HMRC and paying it through that. And yes, I know that their link is going to the correct place, but
Story.
Have you?
Yes. Go on, finish.
I know that they're sending me the genuine link.
100%.
It's not that I don't trust them, and I absolutely do. It's just my personal philosophy on cybersecurity and best practice in terms of how I work.
Yes.
Because if I adopt that with everything, then surely I'm putting myself in a better position.
You are 100%, man. So my story is that I had a customer with that exact, and it's spooky that you picked that up, with that exact issue, right?
There we go.
The accountant had sent them a link saying, click here to pay this. I said, unbeknown to both the accountant and their customer, the accountant had been hacked. They'd gone into their emails, okay? They'd logged into the web version of their emails, and what they'd done is they'd put a half-hour delay on all sent emails. So as far as the accountant was concerned, click the link to Adam, please go play. Please go pay.
Please go play.
Yeah, exactly. Please go pay. So as far as the accountant's concerned, job done, all legitimate, absolutely not a problem at all. The nefarious hacker, thank you very much for that email, Mr. Accountant, amends the email, changes the hyperlink to his nefarious account, okay, then releases the email. Adam, just as normally, all right, accountant, clicks on the link, I've paid you. 4 weeks later, accountant goes, why haven't you paid me? I went, I have. I paid you the minute that you'd done it. And then suddenly, as it all starts to break, oh my goodness me, let's just say that unfortunately the accountant stroke this customer lost a couple of £1,000. And
I do feel very easy.
I feel absolutely awful. And the accountant felt awful, the customer felt awful. But what you've picked up there, Adam, honestly, and I'm going to go on a rant now, and I'm going to stress, I cannot stress this enough. No matter how good you think your security are, when you get an email, and I say that about emails that I send you, Adam, you need to put in your own common sense. Now, I hope, I've got all of mine, we'll go on to my cybersecurity thing, but who knows that nobody has spoofed my email address to you, clicked it, changed it, done whatever.
Well, I did buy that 50 Bitcoin off you on Tuesday.
Right, yeah. About that.
Did you? You're right, though. Because that's...
mate. Please don't do it. Kick this in. I'm pointing to my brain.
To his brain, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's the only thing. So right back to my original point. The biggest thing that I can do is train you to spot. Because with the best will in the world, the hackers are doing this 24/7. 365 days a year. I was saying to my dad, bless him, it's like, why are these people bloody attacking me? I'm like, Dad, you are 1 in 10 billion.
They've technically attacked, say, 10,000 people, and they're just seeing who bites.
100%. So we've seen it who bites. So the other story that I had is that I do try to have a bit of fun when the hackers attempt to phone me. Because obviously they go, we've noticed a problem in your computer. And I'm like, really? Oh, please tell me, what do I have to do? And obviously I'm playing completely along with them, and I think the last one is like, he was like, just click on this link, please, do this. And I'm like, well, it's not working. And he's like, no, just follow the link, follow the whatever. I said, I'm running in a sandbox Linux virtual environment. Does that not help? And now instantly he clicked. Yeah, and I went, listen, I know you're trying to scam me, just go away.
Yeah, so the untrained person, what that is sandbox. It's like imagine a sandbox. It's protected. It's basically
protected.
It's off from everything.
Yeah.
It's not connected to his network, the internet. It's like completely. So he's just wasting their time.
I was just wasting their time, but thank you for explaining that. But basically, he then rattled off a load of expletives, but then said, you know what? He said, I don't care. I just need one person to click the link, and I said, I'll make more money than you will do ever in a year. And sadly, that is the truth of this matter.
It is. I mean, I think we've set the scene nicely to come on to this.
Anyway, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, but It is I know it's a passion of ours to do this. And then the thing is, I'm seeing I don't know that log into banking thing that I was on about. I don't understand at which point someone went, this is a good idea.
I've got past.
And these are big companies.
Security, quality of service, quality of security. Somebody.
At what point did they went, A, this is the best experience for the customer, and B, not C, B, like,
what happened to B?
This is an appropriate practice. And I see it all the time. There's things like, so we invoice, obviously, we invoice people. I've got everything locked down. We'll do all of that chat. But obviously we use Stripe.
Yes.
You know, so Stripe is there. That's
a very good
system. We lock that down. It's a great system for handling payments, and you can buddy up if you're needing to take payments on there. But at some point, someone's got to click on a link in your email to go to the actual payment for that thing.
Yeah.
So I think the key thing is what I always do with my clients is I explain which sort of payment method we'll be doing, and then what they can expect. Yeah. And then I'm always like, it's personalised, it's this, that, and the other. You need to make sure that it's, please make sure it's from us. If you're unsure, ring us.
Yes.
This is genuine, but by all means, ask. And equally, so they're expecting it.
Yes.
So if I say I'm going to invoice you tomorrow, and you get an invoice tomorrow with a Stripe, if you wanted to pay by the way, you don't have to pay by Stripe, you can pay by other ways. But if you if you're there, here's Adam's email, and it very clearly identifies the services that I've given you.
Yeah.
There is that. So we're not saying don't trust everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's sometimes you do need to click on a button to go to the right bit, i.e. the Stripe payment or whatever. But what you're doing is making sure that you're on top of it all in your head, mentally prepared, so that when something comes through, you can make that informed decision. I think that's the key thing for me.
No, 100%.
Right, take me through this piece of paper. So that sets the problem, doesn't it, I suppose?
I think it does.
So from the top down,
okay. I basically wanted to try and give our listeners an overview. And the first question, as would anybody, what is cybersecurity? So to me, I think this sums it up very, very succinctly. Cybersecurity aims to safeguard systems, applications, devices, sensitive data, and financial assets against threats like computer viruses and ransomware attacks. So if I be very open and honest, Adam, how many pieces of electronic equipment, computers and Macs and whatever have you, including your smartphone and including your iPads? Yeah, now there's a question. How many have you got within your personal life and within HubSpot?
Personal life as well?
Personal and... It's a lot, isn't it?
Let's just say 12 to 15 for HubSpot, probably, across the patch.
Okay.
We'll go with that for now.
Every single one of them is at risk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got staff.
And then you've got but every single one of them is at risk, my friend.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is not just the Windows or the Mac, where you can load antivirus and you can load malware devices. Your lovely phone here, okay? You keep it up to date. I'm assuming it's a fairly new phone.
I do.
Yeah, and we spoke about that when the iOS or the Android patches come in. However, people have old phones because they don't want to upgrade. They don't need to upgrade. However, that phone gets out of date. The Samsungs and the Apples of the world do not upgrade it anymore, and the hackers are constantly out there finding a loophole of security.
So that's an interesting one. Last week there was an update, and it was like you need 7 GB free on your phone.
Have you still not cleaned it down?
No, well, it's I use like cloud services and stuff like that, but the tendency would be I can't update it.
Yeah.
Whereas my mindset is I have to update this.
Yeah.
Like I have to.
That's because you sat with me nagging on your left shoulder.
Yeah. So if anyone's wondering that, the way you do it is look through all your message attachments, for example. So say if you're on WhatsApp, the images that people send over and stuff, that all sits on your phone. Yeah, you can delete those attachments on iMessages. Like you could have every single photograph that you've got for the last 8 years if you haven't cleared it.
Yeah.
So you can actually free up a lot of space just by doing that in the first place.
Yeah.
And then the option of looking at cloud-based services. Now, yes, there's costs involved in this, that, and the other. There's loads of options out there, but the benefit is it can keep your device free of clutter, and right. You can then update it. So for me, I see that update. Yeah. I have to move heaven and earth to make sure that it updates.
Yeah.
It just has to be updated.
No, absolutely, Adam. But as I say, so your mobile phone, I noticed, I think you came in with your iPad, didn't you? There it is.
There. Did, yeah.
So your iPad, that's at risk if that's not up to date.
Yep.
Now, obviously, phones and Apple devices and all the rest of them, the Android smart tablets, etc., They are all very, very good. You don't really or don't necessarily have to install antivirus or malware software on them. However, my biggest thing is make sure you update the operating system on it.
100%.
Now, even funnily enough, my friend, I'm tapping the TV.
You are.
That has an operating system.
It does.
Yeah, and regularly you need to check updates for that.
I haven't updated it.
Sorry?
I haven't updated it.
You haven't updated it?
It's not on the internet, though.
Well, there you go. You don't need to. But you know what I'm getting at.
No, I totally agree. I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
I can absolutely say I haven't updated that. And people, because
but
there
it's
might
not
be the naysayers that go, well, if it's not on the internet. Well, that TV isn't on the internet. We use it for a USB
Yep.
dongle that we put the
Images on.
basically.
Podcasts.
And that's it.
So therefore, in terms of risk assessment, and I will also come onto that, that's good. I'd be happy that you go, that's fine. It's not connected to the internet. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. And again, I don't want to over-glamorize this. The point is, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, Adam, if the TV was connected to your internet and I got access to it, I'm on your network.
Yep. It's a gateway, isn't it?
It's a gateway to get onto your network. Okay, so that's what I wanted to cover there. But then the second point, it's essential to protect your business from disruption, financial loss, and this is the most interesting thing that I found, reputational damage. And again, let's say, hypothetically, Adam, can I ask you a question? Let's say that this is an awful scenario, so I'm sorry, but the link that you sent me to pay your invoice, it did get hacked, unfortunately. I clicked, and let's say that I lost a couple of £1,000. Obviously, we'd work together to try and resolve that, but how much do you think reputationally that would damage you?
Oh, massive.
Yeah, massively, wouldn't it?
Massive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It'll be terrible.
It would be terrible. But that's what I'm trying to get over to our
agree.
audience today. It's not just like, oh my goodness me, the financial pain, the pain of going through and recovering. How much reputational damage have you lost? Because let's face it, very sorry, not a problem at all. I mean, you were great friends, so, I could be like, oh, connect, let's work that out. But every link that you then sent me, there'd always be that nagging doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if he's been hacked again. Well,
and actually, that's why, looking at that, that's why we don't use links for everybody. So, for example, on yours, like your billing, you don't get that link.
I don't pay you.
You don't pay me.
It's easy.
yeah, just like that. I think the other way of looking at it, device-wise, if we're going to, I love an analogy.
Yes.
So, thinking of Mark, for example, so how we can, Mr. Weenut. The way to think about it, I think, is devices or these systems, like whether it's an online payment system, it's like having a window that you need to make sure is closed on your house.
Yes.
For security.
Yeah.
So what I mean by closed is all the stuff that you will be coming onto. So the quick question, hang on, I'm just going to check that I'm not...
No, don't worry if you are, my friend, no.
No, right. So we had a discussion around a client. We'll leave them out of the picture. Nothing wrong. We'll just leave them out of the picture for now. They said, we've got insurance.
Right.
But we want to talk. Do you know anything like what we should do with cybersecurity? And I pointed them your way.
Very
and
much.
I'm not pointing them. I'm not naming them because of any reason that's gone wrong.
No,
what I'm saying is we've got insurance. I'm like, great, fantastic. And they went, but we want to look at our policies. I was like, that is the best thing I can hear.
Correct.
Absolutely. Congratulations on going. This is a priority for us because it really is. What's the issue with having cyber insurance, but none of what you're about to talk about?
The issue is that you get and pay for cyber insurance like any insurance company, Adam. Once you, and God bless, I do not wish this on anybody, but if you did get hacked to a point where the cyber insurance is invoked, they will always do their due diligence. Did you have procedures in place? Did you have antivirus? Did you? Because, and again, I don't mean this disrespectfully to any insurance company, but they are also a running business and they will look for a loophole where they go, nope, I'm not paying you. Because, and also the other one that I think, remember that lovely lady we spoke to at the Darlington Business Club from Towergate Insurance?
Yeah.
We must get her one as well.
Yeah, we should,
reach back out to her. But again, we had a private chat outside. That triggered another private chat with a friend of mine. And he was saying, all insurance companies, they're not nasty, they're not evil.
No, I've had some very positive experience. Very positive experience.
They will pay you, but it's like an absolute blindingly obvious, oh, sorry, I got hacked. Well, did you have antivirus? Well, no. Well, I'm really sorry. You know
it's
what I mean?
about, so insurance kicks in after the problem's happened. The stuff that you're on about and going to go into is how on earth you deal with it.
Yeah, it is. And I think,
before it
again, unfortunately, with anything now, ignorance is not an excuse. Well, I didn't know I was going to get hacked, or I didn't know that I had to enable two-fact. I didn't know. It's like, that's not, and that's why, thankfully, you do point me at people. And I do get, funnily enough, a bit of frustration. If you remember the first time we chatted, Adam, when I said that I'm going to take over or look after your IT.
I'm going to take over.
I'm going to take over the world. When I said that I was looking after your IT, I went, listen, I'm going to implement things that will frustrate you. You will find it, very frustrating because I'm applying all these additional security practices. Now, God bless you, you went, yes, but it's the right thing to do.
I have not had a single piece of frustration.
I know that, but
I'm like,
some
people do that, yeah. And don't get me wrong, messing around with a second device to two-factor authenticate something, or, doing all of that. Yes, it's a bit more faff, and yes, you got to do it. But I'm like, I sleep well at night, put it that way. Is that a nice way of putting it?
That is a very nice way of putting it. And that's thankful and blessed. You always say I'm in the walls.
Yeah.
All the things that I do, Adam, are there to protect you in the event that you don't get hacked.
Yeah.
So all these things, so God bless, I've had it before, and again, protect the names to protect their innocence. But, I think on the Windows laptop that I gave you, I put your BitLocker, your 10-digit code, literally had a customer, why do I have to keep putting this in every morning? Because you have to. But I want it taken off. No. Not nastily, but like, I'm really sorry, no. But I explained. I went, okay, I'll take it off, all right? And you give me your laptop. I said, change your password, give me your laptop. I said, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to crack that password. And he went, seriously? I'm like, 10 minutes, I'll be in your laptop. I said, do you get Google Chrome to save all your passwords? He went, yeah. So I'm like, okay. What do you think I'm going to do? I'll keep the BitLocker on, Andy, thank you.
Yeah,
but that's exactly right,
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, I set up Google Password Manager, I've got it all locked down and stuff like that, but I was trying to explain
the point is you need to it's putting those hurdles in. And if you're having to jump over the hurdles and you've got the keys to the castle, so to speak, imagine what the person on the other side that's trying to do nefarious things and get into it.
Exactly right. And I think you also have, last couple of episodes you did a great analogy, about the domain and the house. You said the sign on the house.
Yeah, sign on the house.
Obviously, I used that with my friend. I went, okay, when you leave the house in the morning, do you lock up? He went, well, of course I do. I'm like, okay, why am I not locking your computer up then? Do you go home at night and unlock the door to get in? Yeah, I do. Okay. Open the laptop and you unlock the laptop to get in.
That's a good...
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? And again, God bless him, he got it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
do you park your car at the supermarket and leave it unlocked? Oh, we could go all over the place.
We could go all over the place. But he got it eventually. Okay. So, in terms of cybersecurity, the reason it's becoming more prevalent nowadays is the rising cost. So, funnily enough, if you look at the next two points, my friend, you've already picked up on these on your things this morning to set the scene. Cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated.
Yep, so that's the bit. You have then got costly, and luckily, the only thing that was cost was to the individual to put a stop to it. No one, as far as we're aware, has lost any money, or they certainly haven't lost any money.
No,
or
exactly
anything like this. In fact, everyone went, whoa, hang on, which was good because it means people are open to it.
And we've just spoken there about reputational damage, and obviously now that's something again that I thought was very interesting. And the reason I put the following words is that I think you're going to pick up on these. Victims face financial losses, brand damage, and trust erosion.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about there, what happens if I click that link? And I don't genuinely believe anybody can comprehend until, God bless unless it happens to them, and I do not want that. But everybody nowadays always says, well, I don't touch the fire until I touch it, and then I burn myself, and I'm like, I'll never do that again. We have those life lessons, don't we?
Yeah, it's like a flinch.
Yeah, but brand damage and trust erosion.
See, this is where I'm like here starting to go, I'm not going to sleep tonight. That's the other side. Do you know? I know I just said I sleep really well at night. But the idea of that all coming off and happening, honestly, terrible. Like
it is.
So anybody, not just myself, just whether it's personal life or business life.
No, and I think there was I think I read as well, when you disappear down the rabbit hole of all of this, I think I read somewhere, and I'm going to get the figures wrong, I didn't put them down in here, but I wanted to touch on them, Adam, that in the event that, let's say, random fictitious company got hacked, okay, the time to recover from the hack, plus all of the time that you would have normally been doing your day-to-day job. So remember, you've lost all your data, let's say, God forbid, you've then got to recover all of that. And on top of that, you're doing your day-to-day job. They reckon you are talking months. Months and months of hard work, not only recovering all of your data, but from the point of the attack, catching up on the day-to-day. You know, imagine you facing a cyber attack and not being able to do the podcast, and then you've got, you know, Mr. Paul Million, Mr. Loaf, Mr. Salesman, whatever. Where's the podcast, Adam? I can't. I'm recovering from a cyber attack.
Yeah, it's like one of our computers, our editing rig's been taken out. Or,
but are they going to understand that? Yes, they probably will do. But they're going to go, okay, but when's it
coming?
Yeah, do you know what I'm getting at? So, I also thought it was worthwhile, my friend, putting down the types of cyber threats. Now, these are not all of them. You know, we haven't talked about spoofing. We haven't that. I'll let you pick up on a few of these. The most obvious ones is what we call malware.
Yep.
Okay? It's an antivirus. It's a worm. It's a Trojan. So Trojan from the Trojan horse, a worm because it buries itself deep underground and just sneaks its way around your whole network, etc. Those, to be fair, you know, if you think about when you were first introduced to computers, those were probably the most obvious ones.
Yeah, they were the ones that you came across.
Absolutely, more often than not. Whereas nowadays, the antivirus systems that we employ, they're fairly clever. I remember in the early days that you used to get the software that was on your computer. It used to do an update to what's classed and called the antivirus signature definitions.
Right.
Okay, so a signature definition is an exact set of numbers and whatever that says, ooh, I recognize that as a virus. Whereas nowadays, and I always get this word wrong, they are changing themselves heuristically.
Ooh.
So the numbers, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 identifies me as a Trojan. It's constantly going, whoop, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's literally changing every day. So now we get our current software. I think the antivirus definitions, not only do they get updated like regularly, and if you ever sit and click on your antivirus software that you've got that I've installed, it literally every couple of minutes is going, yep, I've been updated. But think about it, Adam. It's updating itself because somebody somewhere has identified a new virus. So it's going, I better update. And then 5 minutes later, I better update. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what you need.
It really is. We've got phishing attacks. And I'll let you explain because you were saying that that's one of the things.
Yeah, phishing. So we see it a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably in terms, this is email, phishing email. So this is probably the thing that.
P-H-I-S-H.
Phishing.
Phishing emails.
This is probably the things that people see the most.
Yeah.
Because that's the stuff that you see hopefully coming into your spam rather than your main inbox.
Yeah.
If it comes into your inbox, mark it as junk and it should start filtering it out.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, you know, this could be a prince in Africa with gold. That was the famous one.
Yeah.
Or former sergeant in the US Army I've had before. And needs to get gold out of a country. So that's one form of it. But then the other form of it could be, I am looking and appearing very much like this company. I've seen it for banks, for example, and they're going, you know, the was it TalkTalk example you used where it's like your thing's expiring, click here and confirm your details. I've seen one with Google Drive, and that's because it was a venue that we had a meeting at. We'd booked the room.
Oh, I remember you talking about
this. They'd booked the room. This is a good example, actually. They'd booked the room. We'd booked the room. We had the room. It's the only time I went there. It was up in Newcastle. And then we had an email about 3 weeks later. And it was something to do with, it was like the documents from your recent thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that led you to a Google Drive login window, which wasn't a Google Drive login window. It was done very, very well.
Yeah.
And I don't like paying that as a compliment.
No.
But it looked
Really
it was from them, so that they'd got into their mailbox. So that was the first stage where they'd been vulnerable. And then they were basically trying to get people's Google Drive or Google account credentials. And obviously if you put that in, they've got access to the whole Google ecosystem.
Exactly.
Which is another reason why you need two-factor.
Yeah, when we come on to that.
Yeah. So, that was the best example I've seen of that.
No, that's a good one. Obviously, you've then got ransomware. So this is typically that they've already got past your security. And what they do is they take all of your files all of the lovely images that I can see here, all of the documents, all of the word quotes that you've got in your system, Adam, and basically they randomize it and they corrupt it, but they give you an unlock key and go, well, pay me this huge amount of money, or I will, your files will be locked forever. And this is a 256, AES digitally encrypted key that they're going to say, pay me, and they will give you the key, and you will unlock all your files. And then they have the audacity to say, and we won't do it again. Yeah, believe me, they will.
I have heard of people doing, not through anyone I know directly, but I've heard of people paying to get the key.
Yeah.
And it has unlocked their files.
Yes, it has.
So I was like, surely they're going to take the money and then not do that. I'm not saying pay the money for you just need to not get to the point of
You just need not to get to the point. Unfortunately, no matter how well, and I will say this openly and honestly as Resilient, we have the best intentions. We do all the training. I do. You've been very kind to say that I highlight over your emails. But if one of your employees clicks a link in a moment of madness or lack of concentration gets in, even if all of your files were corrupted, luckily we back them up, Adam, and we take them away. But I would go, nope, you don't pay them. Sorry, let's kick in with your DR, which I'll come on to a lot of these things later. But let's kick in with the disaster recovery, take it as a life lesson, and what can we learn from? How? Why? Was it Jessalina? Was it George that clicked on the link? How do we formulate that more training? So that's the ransomware. It's probably the most one that people know about, because once a system gets ransomware, it's all over the news like a flash.
Yeah, there's been some big organisations.
Big organisations. And again, that's what I say to some of my customers with the greatest respect in the world. I went, the one that I know of was, unfortunately, it was a company in America. So again, I'm not going to name the name. But I'm saying, imagine how big their IT department is, and imagine how well they lock their systems down, and yet they still got attacked. And they got ransomware. You really cannot...
and the methods to that could be emailing the entire workforce and just hoping that one of the humans in the chain will accidentally do the wrong thing.
And that's what I said right at the very start.
Yeah.
Adam. Humans are the weakest link. And what these hackers and what these people do is they will go out of their way and using social media methods, ransom, even blackmail. We've seen it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's all about humans having either a lazy password or, oh, dear me, that 2FA, I'm just going to turn it off because I can't be bothered. Again, humans are inherently lazy. We are lazy people. And the problem is they pry on that. And then the final one, which you don't hear of so much nowadays, but I certainly hear about it in terms of the online people. So, for example, our lovely people at 20i.
I knew you were
going to do that. Yeah, so basically, again, for our listeners, what a denial of service does, a DOS attack, is basically they will take over lots and lots of computers with what's called bots, and they will hammer 20i, or they will hammer Xbox, was the other one that got, and they will literally take the service down because the servers on the other end are going, I cannot cope with these amount of requests.
Yeah, so what that could be the TV example. So for example, the TV, this TV in the room, it's not on the internet, so don't try. But the TV, they could even recruit the TV. And what they're doing, to explain it in very simple terms, is they're going, hey TV, ask for information from their website or their server, depending on where. And by having TVs all across the land asking at the same time, plus computers, plus it could be people's fridges if they're on Wi-Fi, could be people's kettles, coffee machines. They're the things that people often think about because the security can quite often be the weakest. Yeah. And then the idea is to go, right, you lot, go and ask them for something, and they just take the whole thing down. Yeah. So like you say, 20i, they recently had that happen. They handled it superbly well.
They really did. That's why we use them.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting is that the denial of service tends to not be of any financial gain. The hackers tend to use it as a bragging right. I took Sony down. I took 20i down. So it's about that confidence, that chest puffing. And again, I'm not condoning, I'm not welcoming this in any way. But that's what they do.
It's also used in warfare.
It is all used in
those
warfare,
recent
sadly.
reports of it being used to disrupt. So it's a disruption tool, basically.
It is basically a disruption tool. Okay, we're then going to go on to the business impact. So, let's say sadly, randomly, we'll pick a company, and let's say that they unfortunately have been hit with ransomware. I'll let you read
Adam's
these
Rare
here.
Books.
Yeah,
We'll say that. We'll keep
say
it
that.
fictional.
But what I want you to do, Adam, is I want you to read each one, and then if you can explain how you feel, and the title is Business Impact, but how you feel that you would feel and your customers would feel.
Yep. So business impact, obviously, it's happened. So one of those things above. Disruption, cyber incidents can halt operations, affecting productivity, because basically you've got to drop everything to try and deal with it, try and work out what's gone on. Equally, I'd be picking up the phone to go to Andy. Andy, can you come and help me assess what damage has been done?
Yeah.
Also, financial loss. So if they have got in your banking, for example, what that's done, or if you clicked on the wrong link and gave the money to the wrong people, all that sort of stuff. But then you've got all the costs that you need to do it. So obviously, if I was working with Andy, trying to, I need to pay Andy to help him fix it. But then, the biggest one for me is reputational damage, obviously, because if I have to, I'd hate to ring somebody saying I've lost data, or we've been hacked, or this, that, and the other. But providing you've got the checks and balances in place, at least I can go, well, we have all of this stuff in place, but unfortunately, we've got to that. So I think that is it just completely flips the business on your head. You completely have to stop working to work out what on earth's gone on, how you can fix it, and what you've lost. And like you say, you might be working on stuff and then find it in time. If it's a ransomware, obviously nothing works.
No.
Your machines and things like that. So, yeah.
The one thing that I didn't put in there, Adam, but I did pick up in terms of when I was down the rabbit hole, and again, I'd like you to speak honestly. Look, let's say it was Adam's Rare Bookshops that got hacked, and you went through the disruption, the financial loss, the reputational damage. How do you think that would affect you as the business owner on a mental health?
Oh, terribly.
You'd feel awful.
Yeah, you'd feel terrible. You'd feel so bad. You'd feel guilty. You'd feel anxious about it. You'd be worrying about whether anyone's vulnerable to it. I mean, this is quite a dark and heavy subject, isn't it, today, this
really
week?
Is,
But that's why it's important to talk about it. Just because it is potentially a bit scary doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about it. In fact, you should be talking about it so you can put things in place to avoid that. So as an individual, it'd be horrible. You'd feel terrible. You don't want to let people down.
Not only that, the bits that I started reading, and again, unfortunately, there are horror stories out there. And this one particular one that I was reading in the early days, it was a large company again, where they were attacked, and unfortunately, the company collapsed. And again, I'm not glamorizing it. 150 people lost their jobs. So you can imagine, not only did the owners feel terrible, they also had the whatever you want to call it, the heavy impact of going, I'm really sorry, 150 people have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, as you say, it's dark, it's horrible. But
I'll take us into the next one, because then you've got your data protection. So obviously, Information Commissioner's Office, if you're running a business, you should be registered with them.
The ICO.
The ICO, Google it. Make sure it's a genuine link you click on. So the ICO, obviously there, but obviously if you've had data breach, you need to report your data breach to them.
Again, people don't realise that they have to do all of these things.
Yeah, so if you've lost data, you are legally required to notify them.
You have to.
So if you're unsure about what the ICO is and data protection law, get savvy with it. Go on there. There's loads of toolkits. It's not just like we're going to hold you to account. It's like, no, how can we help you get to the right standard? So please don't think it's about being told off. It's not. It's about there's got toolkits, they've got resources, they've got information, there's news. They even report other breaches and try and take a bit of lessons learned in terms of how things happened and what they did.
Yeah.
That's mightily important to look at the ICO. You've got encryption on here. Go on then. So fire away.
BitLocker, that's encrypted.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let me just explain in terms of what this does. And oddly enough, I'd also like to pick up on a story that we had the other day. So a customer went out of ours and purchased their own device. I've got no problem with that at all, Adam. I really haven't. They can purchase their own device. It means that they source it, and that it. The key that I want to pick up on is that I said, fantastic, give me the device, please. I will set it up. Like when you ask me to set up for whatever, I make sure that all the relevant hub media, the backgrounds, the avatars, all of that. I then went to BitLocker it, and I found that the customer had purchased Windows Home. Okay? I'll get on my high horse again. What does the word home mean? Does it mean a business?
It means home.
It means home. And therefore, a Windows home device doesn't have the option to BitLocker it. So sadly, I went, you need to upgrade it. And he went, what, upgrade what? And I went, it's Windows Home. You should have purchased Professional. It's an extra £120, please. And you go, £120. But again, I explained the reason that I need Windows Professional is to allow me to BitLocker the device.
Yeah.
Okay, so the BitLocker basically takes all your data, a bit like ransomware, randomizes it like hell, and unless you put the 10-digit, sorry, it can be any number, but I enforce 10 because I think 10's a really good number. Yep. I enforce a 10-digit number to unlock it. The minute you type that number in, it unlocks the data and boots the laptop.
And away you
Adam
go.
can log in. If I stole your laptop, Adam, okay, I'd fire up the laptop going, ha, 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 I've got Adam's laptop. Power on. Bugger. 10-digit number. Nah.
Can't do anything with it.
Can't do it.
And
Okay?
you can't pinch the hard drives out and look at it there.
And thank you. That's exactly what I was going to say. So either, let's say that I stole your laptop purely for the fact that I wanted your hardware.
Yep.
Okay. I would have to format the hard drive. If I was attempting to steal your data, I would take the hard drive out. I would put it in what's called a caddy. You know, you've got one. I've seen it. You've got many of them. I'd plug the USB cable into a laptop to go, let me access this drive to get Adam's data because I want to steal it. Instantly, it would go, the drive's BitLockered. Put your 32-character recovery key in.
Perfect.
Yeah. So what's the guy going to do? He's going to go, fine, I'll format the hard drive. Yes, Adam, you've lost a laptop. I'm really sorry. Yeah,
You haven't lost any data.
You haven't lost any data whatsoever.
As in, lost it to the people.
Yeah. Hasn't. Yeah, I get that.
Backups is the next bit, but that we'll leave
So
that for now.
the other thing that I spoke to a customer about recently is that they do have to utilize some USBs to carry data around.
Yep.
Okay, and that's because they can't send it, and you know there's loads of reasons why. And obviously, as their IT company, I do my due diligence. Why? Ask all the relevant questions, and it turns out, okay, that's fine. You have to transfer it through to USB. I would like the USB encrypted. Why? First question, why? And all I ever do is I go, let me steal the USB. What data's on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's exactly what you said. Is there any confidential data on there? Is there any data for your personal? Is there any blah, blah, blah? Instantly, she went, let's encrypt it. Because again, I'm like, if you lost it, and again, sadly, you hear about it. What was it? A couple of years ago, one of the MPs left his laptop and a USB.
Yep.
Had thousands and thousands of people's confidential electoral data on it. I'm sorry. No. Encryption. Okay?
100%.
100%. We also talk about access controls and secure storage are crucial. To me, when I was reading this, I just want to sum this up, Adam, and basically access controls. So let me ask you a question. Within HubSpoke, do you have a Teams channel called HR?
Yes.
Do you allow everybody into the channel, Adam? No. That's called an access control list, an ACL. You go into there and you go, the people that have access to this, and forgive me, I'll guess, it's you and Jill.
Yep.
Jess and Alina, no.
Yep.
Yep. And quite rightly so. So if somebody compromises Alina's account, can they get into your HR or banking? No, they cannot.
Yeah. 100%.
So again, I get lots of customers when I very first take them on. And again, I'd like to stress the importance of it. None of this, Adam, is done maliciously. Okay? The amount of customers that I take on board as a small company, everybody has access to everything because they're a growing company. They need everybody to have access to everything because everybody helps. Everybody jumps in.
Yeah, they do.
I'll do that, I'll do that, I'll do that. And that's absolutely fine. However, the company has naturally approached me because they're growing. And my experience goes, right, what do we lock down? What do you mean lock down? Banking? Well, everybody needs access. No, they don't. I'm sorry, no, they don't. So again, all I'm trying to say
is 100%.
You just think, Adam.
I totally agree. Again, it's those windows. How many windows can you close?
Thank you.
How many windows can we close? Keep the draft out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also data protection. Coming back to that.
Oh gosh, yes.
It protects. You know, like we don't. It's not. I'm not allowed to really share Alina's contract details with say Jess.
No.
It's I'm not allowed to do that. It's confidentiality, and there's things in there, so that's why you need that as well.
No, absolutely. So, and again, it's not about trying to hide anything. It's not about trying to, oh, he gets paid more than me, that type of thing. It's nothing to do with that thing at all. It's all about protecting your employees and your customer data and your data.
GDPR.
Thank you very much.
ICO,
Indeed.
check it out.
Exactly.
Okay, risk assessments. Identify vulnerabilities, assess risks, prioritize protection efforts based on critical assets. Is this something you would typically do with an organization?
So typically we do. I actually know, and I believe you do this already, Adam. So may I, well, I won't put you on the spot, but let's say for Resilient and for all of my customers, I try to get round to doing it and going, do you have a risk assessment sheet? What's a risk assessment sheet, Adam?
It identifies hazards, risks, likelihood, probabilities, and what the outcomes would be, and then how you can reduce that.
And those things can be very simple, so the one that I always start off with was, okay, Adam, I'm going to go into your office and I'm going to rip the router out and you've got to have no internet. What's your recovery plan? No.
Yeah. What's my recovery plan? It's a good one. I like that.
But you know what I mean? You can work from home.
Yeah. No, you could work from home, mobile data if you needed to.
Hotspot, all of those types of things. So I do get customers like, really? I'm like, yeah, but you've got to identify it.
100%.
And what it does is it makes them think.
Yeah, and then from that you can look at access control for things like Teams, if everyone's using Teams, or Google Workspace if people are using that. Yeah. So how secure is that? What's the level if you've got remote working?
Yeah.
Great, absolutely. But how are you making sure that security is in place?
Yeah. So 100%, mate, and I know I do get some customers, bless them, they roll their eyes at me, but I'm like, I'm only doing this to help. And what I'd like to say is that when I speak to them about arranging that meeting, I get the eye rolling, and they're 10, 15 minutes into the meeting, they're like, bloody hell, Andy, thanks for this.
I think part of your problem, like the walls thing, for cybersecurity, in theory, it should be something that you'd hope to never encounter with a client. Like, you put all the checks and balances in, you do the training, this, that, and the other. It should be a non-issue, which means that it's worked. which means it's like, I suppose you're in the position where you're going, pay me, so you hopefully don't have an issue with all of it. But in theory, they're paying you for nothing to happen, which is not the case. You're doing the jobs and training, and do you see what I'm saying?
Honestly,
like the outcome.
Yeah,
that's the best place to be.
It is the best place to be. But we have friends, and you've had this before. I don't want to pay home insurance until that day. I don't want to pay for a fire alarm until that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I hope I never ever have a customer ring me up and say I've been attacked. I really hope that.
So this leads us nicely. I'm going to rattle through this next couple. So
yes, please,
because this is about the work that you would then be paid to do.
Yes.
Let's use your example. You'd be paid to do employee, train, and educate staff about security best practice. We've talked about human error, but then incident response plan.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the bit where, and the next one, third party risk. And the last one.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do. It's funny that it works.
What I thought, my friend, this is like the bad stuff.
Yep.
This page is right. What can we do?
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, albeit people in theory would be paying you and going, but nothing's happened. Yeah. That's the good sign. That means it's in place.
Yeah, thanks.
But obviously, for your services, though, employee training, we touched on that. You'd be teaching people, putting things on emails and stuff like that. But tell me a bit more about incident response.
So this, sadly, is a case of I have been hacked, I have been whatever. And to be honest, I also want to cut off, I also want to make sure this could be, Adam, nothing to do with cybersecurity. This could be to say we've been locked out of the office.
Yep.
Your internet router's gone down. It's all about what do you do in this event. Now, in this event, clear plan for handling breaches. And thank you very much. You picked up on a really good point. First thing you should do, one of the things, report it. Yeah. Do not, and I cannot stress this enough, bury your head in the sand going, it'll all go away. Report it. Be frank and open. Communication is your friend here. Tell all your customers, Tell all your customers if you have to. Again, I've got to be very careful.
It depends on the breach. But say if there's a payment thing going on where it's a bit weird and someone's trying to spoof your account, you need to ring them all and say, do not process any payments that are coming through on email.
Absolutely.
Just check everything with me first.
No, absolutely. And I think, again, by being clear with somebody and being honest with somebody, I know normal human beings in those companies, they will thank you for that.
Yeah.
They will go, thank you for letting me know. Whoa, Adam's been hacked. Please do not click on any links like that, because the worst thing, Adam, okay, they then phone you up and go, Adam, I've just paid blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I've been hacked. And you were going to
retrospect
tell
is
me
not
when?
a good thing.
It isn't.
Yeah,
It's
you just
never
need
a
it
good
front
thing.
off, rip the plaster off as as you like to think about, and just go, listen, here's the situation. It's terrible. I am hating this, and I'm doing everything I can to fix it. However, in the first instance,
Don't.
just wait and don't action anything that's coming from us. If it was
100%,
spurious emails or anything like that.
100%. So the clear plan for handling breaches: report it, be open and honest. And the key for me, my friend, is that. Again, I don't really like saying this, but look, it's happened, okay? Learn from it. What went wrong? So you document it. You literally go, okay, fine, it was because Adam clicked a link. It was because of this. It was that. How do you ensure that it doesn't happen again? Okay? So you clearly handle the breach. You document it, you report it, God forbid you have to call in the cybersecurity insurance people, but you go through absolutely everything. But like everything is a life lesson: how, why, what. And of course, again, record it all, but how, why, what. Work out what went wrong, how it went wrong, and what can you do to prevent it happening again.
Exactly.
Yeah? So really, that's all done. And as I say, minimizing the damage is more about what you've just said. If you've spoken to people, oh, thanks, Adam, thank you for letting me know, you may only end up having, God bless, one customer affected. Don't pick up the phone and have 25 customers hammering at your door going, I got attacked by you. That's an obvious one. Yeah?
100%.
So minimize that disruption and restore normality as swiftly as you possibly can. And again, the other thing, can I ask, Adam, would you tell all of your employees that you've been hacked?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you need transparency.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for me, transparency.
Which kind of leads us through,
It does.
and we've touched on this at the start, continuous monitoring and updation, cybersecurity vets evolve, so stay informed.
Absolutely.
Regularly update security measures. We've talked about that with updates and things like this, updating devices. Make sure people do that.
Yeah.
And then remembering that
This is the last one.
cybersecurity...
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you want to go with that?
No, you do it, but emphasize. I thought this was my last closing point.
Yep. So what he's written is, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. By understanding the basics and implementing protective measures, businesses can thrive in our digital age. And I think you're right, because this is a dark subject for people. It sounds terrible. It sounds so negative, but it's about doing the opposite. And I'm going to pitch something to you now.
Baseball bat.
Yeah, no, we live on it. We need to do a cybersecurity workshop.
We do.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we're going to launch a cybersecurity workshop.
We're going to go down, see Vanessa, get a room booked.
We'll do one. Right. People can come down and we can go through real world examples of what it looks like, what it is, measures you should take.
No, I think that's a great idea.
There we are.
Offer it to all of the people in the Darlington Business Centre, and I think we'll just get everybody to come down, have a look, and advertise it, the life out of it. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea.
Let's do that.
Let's do that
because
it's important.
That is a really positive thing to take away out of all of that. And
thank you, Adam, because that's what I wanted. As I was going down the rabbit hole, one of the things like, oh my God, this is dark. This is deep. This is dangerous.
But if people don't know it, how do you know to defend against it, and how do you know where it can go? So I think it's important to go, what if you lost everything? It'd be horrible. Let's do everything we can to not lose everything. Let's do everything we can to keep things safe. So do you know what? I've thoroughly...
I'm going to drop the mic. Oh, hang on.
Drop the paper. I've thoroughly enjoyed going through that. I think we've gone through it great depth, and I hope that it's been of use to people. I think we should absolutely do our workshop. We'll get people in and we'll go through like what it looks like, what it is, and come at it from an angle of here's what it looks like and here's how we can avoid it.
Yeah, let's do that. And let's do that. Really, really, really positive.
Brilliant. Well,
thank you, my friend.
What are you doing this weekend?
What am I doing this weekend? It is Father's Day.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Happy Father's Day to every father out there.
Yes.
So I have been very graciously, my son Daniel is going to pick me up tomorrow, or we're going to drive to get a taxi to a pub. We're going to have just a nice son-father, couple of pints of beer, bit of darts, nice bit of meal. So do you know what? I thought, great son, because he was asking me what I want, and I think it's like anything, Adam, you're probably the same age. If I want something, I go out and buy it. So he's like, what can I do differently? And then he came up with the idea, and I went, do you know what, son, I'd really like that. Thank you. And then on Sunday, I'm doing the exact same for my my father. I can't, he's 80-year-old. I can't really buy him anything that he hasn't already got. So what he does enjoy is he does enjoy going out for nice meals. We've got a very lovely customer in Harrogate, Sasso restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and I'm taking my father there. We're going to drive him over to Harrogate and have a lovely meal.
Well, that is fantastic.
So there we go. That's my weekend. How about yours?
Me, I'm going out for a curry tonight at Bubbles, in fact.
Guess what I was last night?
Were you at Bubbles?
Bubbles.
Were you?
I was doing the Paul Million network property thing.
Of course
We
you
ended
were.
up going to there. Lovely. I had the shish kebab to start off with.
Yeah.
And then I had the chicken hariyali. Oh my God.
Right. Well, I'm there. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm there this evening with friends. Tomorrow.
What, all three? Your three friends?
All three of them.
Well, I won't be there, so
No,
only
all two of them. So yeah, there tomorrow, and then kids football tournament to go and watch.
Oh,
tomorrow.
football, not rugby.
Yep, football. So go and watch that.
How is the rugby season going? Is it
It's
close?
off.
Finished
Off
now?
at the moment. So I'm enjoying a bit of a rest and a
Bit
break.
of a rest.
Bit-
How's
bit
your
of a break
bowl?
from it.
How now, two questions before we quickly go. How is your DJ Adam DJ TikTok followers?
It's going all right. It's slowly declined slightly. It's like just under 900-ish.
Oh goodness me!
Yeah, like it had that
Wow.
weird boom.
Yeah.
And then I haven't been pushing it as hard because I haven't had as many gigs just because I've been happy for the break. But I'm DJing tomorrow night.
Okay, well that's fantastic. And
so,
second thing
right
is,
there.
how is your cold plunging?
Cold plunging, it's going well. It's been a bit on hold this week just due to appointments and timings.
Yeah.
But no, it is going well. I'm loving it. I'm loving
still
it.
loving it.
I am starting to pick up the training again for the rugby next week.
Yeah.
So the cold plunging is going to accelerate at rapid, but I love it.
You love
I
it.
love it. Sitting there and just, take a moment to think about life.
Freeze yourself.
Freeze. Yeah. It's actually not so cold at the moment. It's not as cold as it.
No, although
as I
we're
want it
enjoying
to
the
be.
wet weather. The summer weather in June is particularly bad at the moment.
Yeah, but I've been quite busy with a few bits and bobs, just getting things in place. So, yeah. So training
Good done
starts next week.
Positive
and then,
stuff. Okay, well, enjoy your weekend, my friend.
And you.
And
Take
Ben.
care.
Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.
Bye.